Tonight, the White House wants you to believe that when the President of the United States tweets, he's not using Twitter the way your eyes and ears have been telling you he uses Twitter. As you know, he tweets about politics, about policy, about his achievements in office. He tweets about legislation he likes and treaties he doesn't. Supreme Court picks get tweeted about, so do Supreme Court cases. You name it, and the president has staked out a position, rallied supporters, or slammed the opposition, all on Twitter. Now, some of his top advisors want you to believe it's really nothing significant. This is, of course, a complete about-face, and it comes after a string of controversial tweets. Saturday and Sunday and today, with 7 dead and dozens wounded in the London terror attack, the president used Twitter to push for his legally disputed temporary ban on travel from a number of predominantly Muslim countries. Quote, "We need to be smart, vigilant, and tough. We need the courts to give us back our rights. We need the travel ban as an extra level of safety," he tweeted. Also, people, the lawyers and the courts can call it whatever they want, but I am calling it what we need and what it is, a travel ban. And, quote, "The Justice Department should have stayed with the original travel ban, not the watered-down, politically correct version they submitted to the Supreme Court." That's, by the way, the one he himself approved. He tweeted about the ban before he sent condolences and support to the people of London. Whatever you think about the common decency of the timing, legal experts say the travel ban tweets could actually hand opponents of the measure new evidence to block it. In any case, he also tweeted this about London's mayor, quote, "At least 7 dead and 48 wounded in terror attack, and Mayor of London says there is, quote, no reason to be alarmed." Now, as you probably have heard by now, keeping him honest, what the mayor, who happens to be Muslim, actually said is there's no reason to be alarmed about additional police on the streets in the wake of the killings, the tragedy. When confronted with that fact, the president today amped up his attack on the mayor of a city in mourning, quote, "Pathetic excuse by London Mayor Sadiq Khan, who had to think fast on his no reason to be alarmed statement. Mainstream media is working hard to sell it." That particular tweet came just hours after top presidential advisors went on TV trying to persuade us all to stop paying so much attention to anything the president tweets.
It's not policy.
Of course
it's
it is.
social media, Chris. It's social media.
It's not
You know
social media.
right?
It's his words, his thoughts.
It's not policy. It's not an executive order. It's social media. Please understand the difference.
I think that you need to have a little bit of an understanding here.
I'm
When the
inside the
president
White House.
says,
I know what
this is
policy
what
is.
I
You're a
want,
journalist.
what are you saying? We shouldn't listen to what the president says?
You shouldn't obsess about it for now 12 minutes, Chris.
This obsession with covering everything he says on Twitter and very little of what he does as president.
That's his preferred method of communication with the American people.
That's not true.
Kellyanne Conway this morning, all but asking, what is this Twitter you speak of? For the answer, wouldn't it be nice if she and others, including the president himself, ever said anything about just how important Twitter really is? It would sure be nice to get their take on it.
Donald Trump's social media platforms are a very powerful way for him to communicate and connect directly with people.
He has this following of over 45+ million people that follow him on social media that he can have a direct conversation.
It is a very effective form of communication. I'm not unproud of it, to be honest with you.
I like the fact that President-elect Trump feels free to go and tweet and get his views out there and talk directly to people.
He's able very quickly, over and over again, to set the agenda.
When he tweets, he gets results.
I know some people don't want him to tweet. I'm glad that he does, because he does get the opportunity to get right out there and say what he feels on these things.
Why wouldn't I use it? Why wouldn't, if I have all these millions of people? And it's a great way to get a message out.
So is presidential tweeting a great way to get the message out, a way to set the agenda, a very powerful way for him to communicate and connect directly with millions of people? Or is it, as Sebastian Gorka suddenly said today and Kellyanne Conway said this morning, nothing to pay too much attention to? It's hard to tell because even as they were downplaying the president's Twitter habits, the president's spokesperson, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, today was touting them.
I think social media for the president is extremely important. It gives him the ability to speak directly to the people without the bias of the media filtering those types of communications. He's at this point has over 100+ million contacts through social media and all those platforms. I think it's a very important tool for him to be able to utilize.
Okay, so now it's an important tool. Keeping him honest, it is hard to keep this all straight. The president and his advisors seem to want us all to take presidential tweets seriously and listen to them, except when they don't and only when it suits them.